And right now the market cap in circulation is just 1.6 billion. So you have a lot of token that will only hit the market according to that release schedule here. Yeah, I would expect that based on the current market cap and what I would expect for this cycle, maybe 5x to 10x, I think would be very much achievable by mid 2025.
As an investor, as a researcher, or as a builder, there's something happening in AI that you need to understand. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this information with your friends so that everyone can have access to this important video. For transparency, I have no ties to Bittensor. And as a reminder, my work on this channel is separate from my work in Web3 security. What is Bittensor? Bittensor is a decentralized network that's designed to connect machine learning models rather than computers or servers. Think of it as a global brain where each neuron is a machine learning model owned by different people around the world. Looking at the data, there is a lot of money going into AI. According to Crunchbase, at the time of this recording, over 12 billion has been raised since December 4th. AI will continue to grow, and that is a big reason governments are looking to regulate it. And that is also a big reason why tokenomics expert Patrick is interested in Bittensor and decentralized AI as a whole.
So what's interesting about Bittensor is that if you were to be attacked by the regulators or by the governments to shut down your AI model because for whatever reason, having it on a decentralized architecture means that it would be impossible to shut down. So that's kind of the advantage of that.
Decentralized AI does come with risks though. Patrick, what are the cons of a decentralized model?
If there's a security breach, because that's the problem with centralized system, is that if you get hacked, like how many organizations get hacked for the data or the code itself, you could influence how an AI model is working. So that could be very dangerous at some point in the future if hackers get hold of modifying the code and how the AI model works. So if it's on a decentralized platform, that would be very difficult to achieve. Imagine that you have an AI model that is used to train self-driving car, and then hackers manage to tweak how it works to start killing people of a certain race. Right? That would be a really horrible scenario. So as we rely more and more on AI models to do certain tasks, it could become a problem. Yeah.
Okay, that got me a little bit concerned. Why should we believe that projects like Bittensor have high potential?
For me, one of the bigger concerns is the financial aspect. If you have OpenAI that is kind of a centralized organization and they can wipe out millions of jobs because of the AI got so good that it can replace a lot of jobs, the people who produce the data basically get nothing. It's owned by corporations. Corporation, if you can run a successful corporation with maybe 10,000 employees, and then you replace millions of jobs, that company can move anywhere in the world to change their headquarters to avoid paying taxes and all that stuff. The financial cost to the economy could be very horrible. And that's why I think having a decentralized AI model where the users and the people who produce the data have ownership and the royalty payment for the rest of history, that's something very interesting. Ocean Protocol and Filecoin are two decentralized file storage system where you can store data related to training AI model. So what you could do is combine Ocean Protocol, you store the data there, and then you compensate people who produce the data in the first place. And then you train that data on an AI model on Bittensor. And that's where the revenue come into Bittensor. Then it moved to Ocean Protocol. So you could have a fully decentralized kind of business instead of having one small entity with a few employees monetizing everything and their investors. Because to me, that's the real danger in that at some point, you could have entire industry get wiped out. To give you another example, so bookkeepers all over the world, I don't see them being paid that much anymore because if you use existing cloud accounting software, it does that straight up. So you just pay your service and it goes to the company, but whoever produces the data and the bookkeepers are out of a job.
So Patrick is more concerned about the job loss than the moral concerns of bad actors leveraging AI for their own interests. Being that Patrick's expertise lies in tokenomics, I asked him for the rundown on Bittensor. And although Patrick is not a legal expert, pay attention to what he says about any regulatory concerns.
He picked a total supply that is fixed just like Bitcoin, and they have a 4-year halving process like you can see here. So that is for the release of the token themselves. But meanwhile, they also have a proof of stake mechanism for the node operators, so that like people who create successful models can get paid for when the model gets used, basically. So you basically have both mechanism, and there's a few other things that they do that is different in that regard. But yeah, so the base of their consensus mechanism is very similar to Bitcoin with the proof of work mechanism. As you can see with the total supply, the team own no token, investors like have no tokens. So it's been mined from the beginning, and the people who manage this business like were miners, obviously, to get their upside, but they didn't allocate free token to anybody. So it was very much like Bitcoin in that regard. So that makes it that in terms of how we test, you don't break the expectation of profits, because that's what happened when you do a pre-sale with the price that keep increasing at every phase of the pre-sale. That become very close to a security. So I don't see this being a problem, and it solve the problem of being as decentralized as possible, and also not breaking the expectation of profits in that regard. So I would expect this to be SEC compliant, but not as a security, as a utility. And I would expect that right now it's not traded on Coinbase, but I would expect at some point it will be traded there, and it will be available for institutional player to be able to buy into this.
Bittensor is not listed on Coinbase yet, but Patrick seems to think that it's very doable. But what about the applications? I hear about AI all the time, but we need to see real use case applications. Do they exist on Bittensor? Well, there just so happens to be an application that resembles ChatGPT. It's a decentralized competitor. So, being that I have a family cookie bake-off competition, I asked Patrick for a cookie recipe.
It's fast enough. I don't know if the quality, let's say at this point, I think ChatGPT is better, but it's a question of data. And also, ChatGPT has spent 10 years building, OpenAI built ChatGPT in about 10 years with billions of dollars. So I think it's just a question of time before this one get better.
Interesting. A very great use case. And most importantly, I'm prepared for the cookie bake-off. What are your thoughts about Bittensor? Do you think it's promising? Comment your thoughts. Also, if you're building in Web3, I'd like to invite you to join my community of Web3 professionals just like you. Amazing collaborations happening right now as we speak, and many of the guests on my channel come from my community. Apply to join, and I'll reach out to you on Telegram. That's all for me, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video.